Yo, what is up guys? Nick Nakai here, Let's Drift Media. Thank you guys for coming back to the channel. If it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, gets my channel out there. So today's episode, we're gonna be talking about 3 underhood lights. Probably the bigger names out there. I would say these are probably more of the more popular ones you will see out there on the market now. So we got the Matco underhood light, of course. We got the Snapon underhood light, as well as my personal favorite, the Milwaukee underhood light. Real quick before we get started with this video, if you have any of these lights, do me a favor, drop a comment down below. Which one you have, why do you like it, why did you buy it, and what don't you like about it? That way some of the viewers can scroll down there and get a better opinion from you guys, what you guys have to say about these lights. Alrighty, so I'll try and keep the talking about just the lights to a minimum. I'm gonna leave all the links to this description down below so you guys can look up all individual specs and stuff like that, but I'll kind of just give a basic rundown, pretty much price point, battery life, brightness, and then when I put the lights on the hood, I'll show you guys the pros and cons, up close and personal, what I like about each light, what I don't like about each light, to pretty much help you understand which one is best for you. Say you're in the market for an underhood light, I highly recommend having one. I've personally owned this Milwaukee one for about 5 years and I love it. I use it probably every day. And the cool thing about these underhood lights is it's not only for underhood. You'll see in the video, you can put them underneath the car, the headboard pretty much, and light up the whole interior. So anytime you're doing dash work, they really just come in clutch, like pulling out a dashboard, working underneath the dash even. They just give so much light to what you're looking at, and now you don't have to have like the flashlight up here or have all your little mini flashlights down there, even though those will help, but these really provide a great amount of light. And they're really not too expensive. So anyways, let's get started. So starting back with the Matco, it retails at about $320, 2100 lumens. Battery life is about 2.5 hours on high, about 5 hours on low. So very bright light. It's just as bright as the Snap-on. This is actually the the previous gen Snap-on underhood light. The newer one is basically the same thing. The only difference is it has 2100 lumens, unlike this one. But both of these will be the same brightness and they're about the same price. Back to the Matco though, it is a 2-year warranty and it is a plug-in. So the batteries are not interchangeable. So that's one thing you have to consider, but it does come with like a 16-foot power cable. So if the battery does die while on the job, you can always just plug it in and keep on wrenching. The cool thing about the Matco is it pops right off the stand and has a very strong magnet, so you can just stick it on to whatever you're working on and provide a lot of light for you that way. So it's more than just an underhood light, it's kind of like its own little personal floodlight. So that's pretty cool. Slides across, you can point it exactly where you want it, pivots around, all that good stuff. Next we got the Snap-on, which is $308, about the same price as the Matco. Same lumens, 2100s. Again, keep in mind this is the older gen, so it's only 1500 lumens, but it's still pretty much the same thing. It's got the whole pivotal action, slidable feature, so you can point it exactly where you want it, and again you could also remove it and do the same thing like the Matco one and put it wherever you want to use it. It's got the high and the low settings. Keep in mind too, both of these back here, the Matco and the Snap-on, are pure white light. So if that's something you're into, you might like these. So the Snap-on one has a little bit better battery life. They claim 2 hours on high and 18 hours on low. At least that's what the website says. That's very impressive. 18 hours is a long time to be running a light. So that seems like more than you need. I mean, I haven't tested to see if it will run the full 18 hours, but my buddy Alex Chaparro, who loaned me this light, actually said the battery life is pretty amazing if you run it on low and you don't really have to charge it that often. But same thing, battery built in, you can just plug it in if it does die. But if you don't have the charger or an AC power supply, you're kind of out of luck because you will need actual power. You can't just swap out the batteries. So that pretty much sums it up for the Snap-on. Oh, and the 1-year warranty. So only 1-year warranty on this, but this one is not too sure how old, but I mean, it's gone through hell and it's still working. But again too, you have to keep in mind the warranties. Usually if you're pretty cool with your Snap-on distributor or your Matco distributor, they will still warranty things outside of the warranty time frame. It all depends on your tool guy. But I mean, say you're like an at-home DIYer, yeah, it's gonna be whatever the warranty claims is what you're gonna get. So So now I'm coming down to my personal favorite, the Milwaukee. This tool, bare tool without the batteries, runs for about $150. That's very, very cheap in comparison to this. It's like almost half the price, but then if you don't have any batteries, you're gonna be paying like at least $100 for 1 or 2 batteries, depending on how many amps size of a battery you're gonna be getting. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But if you're like me and you already have a lot of Milwaukee tools, you probably have a lot of Milwaukee batteries. And these run off the M12 system, so they're all interchangeable with their little cordless impacts and all that good stuff. So that's one reason I really like the Milwaukee, because you never have to worry about a dead battery. You just pop another one in if you always have them on the charger. Say you are buying batteries and the tool, you're pretty much looking around the same price frame as these. So if you're starting from scratch, it's still pretty much in the same price range. Lumens on the Milwaukee is a lot less than these guys. This is 1350 lumens. So it's not as bright as these guys, but you guys will see in the video why like it's so much more is because it's the broad light. Like it's honestly, clearly it's a different style of light. It's not like a focused spotlight such as these or floodlight. It's kind of more like a light bar. So that's one thing I really like about this, as well as the tone of light. You can tell the Milwaukee is not the pure white, it's more of like the daytime light. And honestly guys, the daytime light is so much easier on your eyes when you're trying to focus on things, and especially working for long periods of times, you get way less eye strain working with the natural light. So that's pretty much the biggest selling point, is just the natural light and the wide field of light you get. So yes, it's not as bright as the bigger guys, but you gotta remember, lumens aren't everything when it comes to working on cars. Yeah, with Milwaukee, if you have the 4 amp battery in there, they're claiming 4 hours on high and 8 hours on low. That sounds about right, because I probably ran this, like say I'm doing like a big job or something under the hood. I ran it like all first morning up until lunch with the 4 amp battery on high, and it's done me fine and has not died. So those numbers are pretty accurate. I usually run it on high just because I like the brighter light. And Milwaukee has a 5-year warranty, which blows these guys out of the water. If you have any problems, you can return the tool and get it fixed. But I mean, like I said, I've had this one for about 5 years now, and it's given me no problem and still works the day I bought it, like the day I bought it. And the Milwaukee, however, does detach, but it's honestly something I don't really do too much, but it pretty much detaches just like that, and then you kind of set it wherever you want. It's nice with the battery since they're pretty flat. You can kind of just stand it up somewhere. But to be honest guys, I've never really pulled it off its stand. I usually always leave it on the hood stand. We're gonna go ahead and start off with my favorite light. It is the Milwaukee. You see, easily slides on. All of the lights have the protective covers on the edges, so you really don't have to worry too much about scuffing up paint jobs. I mean, you can always put like a microfiber rag on the edges if you want it to be extra cautious, but depends what you're working on. So here's the Milwaukee on the high setting. You can also slide it across to get more access of light to where you want to look. Here is on low settings. So what I was talking about is the more disbursement of light. You can tell really, like right off the bat, that it's just more naturally lit. Naturally and evenly. You can really see it just lights up like the entire engine bay. So you can really just see everything. And one thing that I like about the natural light, like I said earlier, it's just a lot easier on your eyes to focus, I've found. Like when I'm working for a long period of time and I have this on, my eyes don't feel as tired as compared to the white light. It really puts a strain on your eyes. And I feel like it's just a lot easier to see what you're trying to see. And then again, this one doesn't have the most lumens. It's only 1350 in comparison to the 2100 from the other guys. But like I said, too much light is not that great because it causes a lot of shadows. So you can see there's still some shadow. Of course you're gonna get shadow with any light, but it's not too bad since it's more evenly dispersed. It's harder to notice the shadows. So you guys will see in a little bit what I'm talking about with the other ones, where it really kind of makes it difficult to see. But here up close, you got the M12 battery system I was talking about. You can pop it out. Whole thing pivots. So you can point the light wherever you want to point it. And you can also slide it across. And then on the other side here we have a hook, which I've really never used because you kind of have it on hanging on a hook. It's not really going to point exactly where you want to point it. I feel like it will just be dangling. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up the Milwaukee, guys. All right, so coming over to the Snap-on. Put this bad boy up here. Right in the middle, we'll start out on high, then low. So still a lot of light, you guys can see, but the shadows is really what gets you, because it's almost so bright in the general area. Anything that is getting shadow is getting hella shadow, and it makes it almost impossible to see. So you'll find yourselves ending up getting like another flashlight to actually see, and it's like, wait, why am I using a flashlight when I have an underhood light? But yeah, still a great light nonetheless. No hate here, just giving my opinion. It's got the whole pivotal, you can point exactly where you want to see. The slider feature on the Snap-on is really easy to use. I really like that about that. It's really, if you want to focus over here on the intake manifold side, you can. And if you want to focus there, you can too as well. All right, now going to the Matco. Big dog. Big dog. Little dog. You can see, here we go in the high setting. Super bright, plenty of light. I try to say it's not like a spotlight, it's more like a floodlight, but it does do its job to light up exactly what you're looking for. So, show you some more up close. Got the power button, the charger port right here. You got the movable hinge, as well as rotation. And put it any way you want it. And then it slides across. I've noticed though that this Matco one does not want to slide across that either. Maybe because it's brand new, so it needs to get broken in, but it just feels like not that appealing. But one thing you have to remember too with this video right now is this is like the perfect setup for like an underhood light. As you guys can see, we have the light set up on the very top of the hood, so we're able to project the light all over the engine bay. Not every hood is going to be completely square like this, or is it going to be as long as this hood. So what I've found, a lot of hoods, like say like a Toyota Sienna, you're going to be running it around like this close to being under the hood, or yeah. So that's one thing you have to think about, where you're mounting this on the hood, because yes, still you get a lot of light, but it's almost too focused, or it gives you problems to what you're actually trying to look at. And that's still pretty decent size. You might even run into cars sometimes. You literally can only mount it like down here. And then that's one thing with the Matco and the Snap-on, since they hang lower than the Milwaukee, it just doesn't project as much light to where you want to see. So then you're just constantly adjusting it. Yes, it's giving you excellent light exactly where you want to look at it, but then it almost defeats the purpose of an underhood light. And then it's like you might as well just get a magnetic wand and smack it on there to focus on that general area. But let's see, even with the Milwaukee, pretty much down at the bottom of the hood, say you had a type of vehicle where you couldn't really mount this light that good. I've had it at work, and even mounting it very low still gives plenty of light, just because it's got that wide bar feature. And then you want to light up more of the front, you can even just twist it. It's very simple, just kind of, I say like it's almost like just set it and forget it. So I know the location of the light, I mean, it's not too big of a deal, but I mean, trust me, you'll run into certain hoods where it's like very difficult to light the light, and then the underhood light almost ends up being useless because it's like so far down, like you see it right there. But another reason I like the Milwaukee is because you guys see how flush or high it sits in comparison to the Matco. You can just see the Matco hangs almost like a good 7-8 inches off of the actual light. So that's not too big of a deal, but honestly, it gave me a problem. The other day I was at work and I had like a 2003 Tacoma. I had the Matco light mounted right here, and I went to go pull the radiator out, and the radiator was like freaking hitting on the light. And because I had it up high because I wanted to project the light everywhere, I didn't want to have it low. Yeah, I could have moved it, but point being said, the light was like, felt just so bulky and clunky, like it was giving me problems trying to work under the hood because the light was just hanging down so far. So that's one thing I wish Matco would do, maybe in their next upgrade or their next model, make it more closer to the head or to the bar itself so it's not so much in your way. You can see right there. So like I was saying too, you can mount them underneath the headboard like that, and it is just awesome when you're working on the interior, like literally underhood lights in the interior. It's amazing. Pulling out a dash with this type of light is the best ever. So I'll go ahead and cycle through the different 3 lights we have here so you can kind of see what kind of differences they do while underneath inside the vehicle. So we got the Milwaukee, of course. And then we got the Snapon. Still good lighting. I mean, just with these two, you're gonna have to kind of more point it to where exactly you're working in. All right, so I mean, again, when it comes to like the spotlight or flooding the whole engine bay, it is more preference. I'm not showing this to be like, oh, buy this one because this one's that much better. I'm just showing you guys from using it in the real life to show you why I like it, because I understand you don't need to light the entire engine bay, but sometimes say you're pulling a motor, you're hopping over to this side, to that side, to this side, to that side. And that's really the whole reason Milwaukee sold me on theirs, is just because it lights up majority of what you're trying to look at. So nothing wrong with the other ones, it just requires more moving it. And then again is that light tone, guys. I'm telling you, I don't like the pure white light. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up for this video if you guys made it this far. If I had to go in ranking, it would be the Milwaukee, the Snap-on, then the Matco. Reasons for is the natural daylight you guys saw, the broad field of view, and how easy it is on your eyes when you're looking at things. And that's basically what I love about it. And the interchangeable batteries. Really nothing to complain about the Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make a newer one soon, and it will probably be a lot brighter, and that's gonna be really badass. I'll definitely buy that. But for now, this thing does the job just great, and I literally use it every day, guys, at work. Just going for the Snap-on. Pros I like is that slider. Just makes it very easy to slide it across to what you're looking at, point it exactly where you're looking. The construction of this, it just feels really solid. Like, feels a lot more solid than the Matco. So unfortunately, Matco, I don't really have too many pros. Yes, it's a bright light, but I don't like how tall it is in comparison to the Snap-on and how big. Like, it's just very big and bulky. And you guys saw the example, or I told you guys about the example with the Tacoma where I couldn't get it out because it was just in the way. So that's one thing I don't like about the Matco, as well as the construction of it just doesn't feel like it's gonna hold up too well. Like, it just feels like kind of like cheapy. Although it's not very cheap, I'm sure they, well, price-wise definitely not cheap, but I'm sure they use the material to make it lighter weight. So yes, the overall tool feels a lot lighter, but I feel like they could have done something better to make it feel like a lot more rugged, because I just don't like how that feels, and I'm not too sure how long that's gonna last or hold up throughout the years of abuse. But that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate all you guys, all your views, all your support, all the comments, all the messages you guys send me on Instagram. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a